Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm going to share this real fast on Facebook. And then X. Give me 2 seconds. I share the stream out before while we're getting started, waiting for people to come in. It's a good time to share it. Alright, anyways. So, today was a nice day. It was nice to relax a little bit. I didn't get to sleep in today, but that's fine. It was nice to get out. Went to the beach. I did walk around a little bit after. We got off live. It stinks that I got to figure a way to make so my phone doesn't overheat in the direct sun. I didn't help that I was on my phone for a while today before I went, so next time I'll have to put the phone down for a little while, make sure it cools off completely before I start the stream, because I wasn't able to stream that long on it. I think I might have like too much. I didn't close all the apps out that I was running in the background, so that might have also been a reason. It might have just been over processing. It's a fairly decent phone, so it shouldn't do that easy, but I think it's something I'm doing, using it too much or having stuff running in the background while I'm doing it. Plus I was trying to charge it as I was live streaming. You're not supposed to do that. Well, I mean, you can if it's at night, but during the day when it's in the sun, it just makes user error. So, but it's a beautiful night. It's Friday night. One more day of insulin left. I'll be out tomorrow. I've got one more shot left. I've got and I got one more shot of my emergency, my fast acting. I have 4 units left of that I can use, and then I do have 18 units left of my my long lasting, but that I use 16 units a day, so I can have 16 units tomorrow and like 2 the next day. Because you take a lot more of your long lasting, you know, because it's gonna last throughout the day. But then I've got to figure that out. So that's gonna be a pretty stressful thing. Like I said, I know I can get some from Walmart for. You got to keep it cool. So not only do I need that, I need to figure out how to come up with $35. I have to buy a cooler and ice, and I keep ice on it every day. So that's my next task. So I can have insulin is I need to save up for a cooler, ice, and then I can go to Walmart and get over-the-counter insulin. You don't need a script for it. They allow you to have it. It's like $35 plus tax or something like that. I don't know. I just heard it was $35, so I'm sure there's tax on it, but that's something I can't live without, you know. Fortunately, my body doesn't produce insulin, so once I'm out of that, I'm kind of SOL. And tomorrow I'll be out. But it's really nice at the beach today. Just walking on it, you know, I didn't go swimming or nothing, but I did walk along the water out there. I haven't been to the beach in forever, so it was a nice beach stream. Just something that was very enjoyable. But it's a pretty boring evening tonight. But I'm just glad I was able to do that. I get to go back to work on Tuesday to finish up that other job I'm working on. Like I said, I did get do the first day the other day, and but that money went towards gas and laundry and stuff like that. Yeah, it was very, very nice stream. I'm gonna try to do those more often. I'm gonna try to do it during the evening though. I'm not sure how good my cameras are really good on my phone. I'm hoping that because I went in the middle of the day where it was the hottest part of the day, so my phone got real hot. But I've got to time that out. But the beach stream, yeah, it was so beautiful out there. It's very relaxing. I'd like to do that more often. It's just a good place to be anyways. But it was nice to get out there, so I'm pretty excited about that. I got, you know, today's what, Friday night, so I got, you know, 3 more days till I get back to work, and then that money is going to go towards I gotta refill, refill up on fuel, and then that'll give me my odds and ends I need for food for a little bit too that I don't get at this little helping center. And then, so my next goal is to work on, as I get support coming through, will be a cooler and money for ice so I can get insulin from Walmart, because definitely gonna need to have, I'm gonna be out of insulin after tomorrow. So my sugars have just been so high lately, so I've been having to take it a lot because I'm not eating properly, so I have to take more insulin because it starts to attack everything and to try to turn it into sugar, which it overdoes that and makes your sugars just go skyrocket. So plus stress of living outside and not being able to have the things I need, just simple necessities in life, gets very stressful. So that also raises my sugar like crazy, because stress is a horrible thing for your sugar. For some reason, when you're stressed, your body breaks down a lot of more stuff and makes it into sugar. It just overwhelms your body. But it was a good day. I'm happy about that. Hey Danny, welcome. I seen you made it to the beach stream too. I seen your comments. It was so beautiful out there today, man. It's a nice little beach. It's not, that one was Cherry Downs Park beach / beach, whatever. Cocoa Beach is much bigger, but it's also, like I said, harder to find parking and stuff. So you can park at Ron John's usually. And I'd like to do a live stream of showing everybody what Cocoa Beach has. So many things. It's just massive. Very touristy, extremely touristy. Ah. Freaking kick the stupid. Kind of stunk, but whatever. But it's another day, it's another day. I'm just excited to make it another day. Tomorrow's going to be, like I said, a little harder. Hi, Pandagram. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you coming. Chat's open for all tonight, like it is usually every day. If you guys want to talk about anything specific, by all means bring it up. Anything, whether it's news or just how your day is going or something fun you did. We do this every night at 8 o'clock, and it's slowly picking up right now at some little, parking lot. So yeah, definitely the beach view is better, but they would definitely arrest me if I tried to park there overnight. So unfortunately, we can't do that. And hello, witness too. I believe I said hello, but just to make sure. I wish I could sleep by the beach. That'd just be amazing. I know in Daytona Beach you can't park there all night. You can actually drive on the beach over there. I'm not sure I'd want to bring, this van is pretty heavy and it's 2-wheel drive, so I'm not sure I'd want to bring the van on beach sand anyway. That's just asking to get stuck. Trying this new pineapple mango drink from Tropicana, and it's got, I don't know, it's good, kind of, and it's weird. But it's it's refreshing. I was able to get me a bottle of that flavor every once in a while, Not good for my sugars though, but at the same time, I'm still human. I need flavor. But I can't wait to go back to the beach again. I can't do it a lot just because it is a little bit of a drive. It's a 20-minute drive, so it takes a little bit of fuel. I'm trying to save every penny I can right now on fuel. But it was nice to go down to. Probably go again on Wednesday after, consider I'm going to work again. I'll refill up the tank and go down on Wednesday again. Might try to go, like, sorry. Might try to go at like 5 o'clock or something, where it's a little bit cooler in the day. Man. But. So. I threw up a bunch of ads today too as well, so hopefully, I get some more stuff on that. It'll help once I have a lot more before and after pictures. I have before and afters on my painting that I've done. But a lot of people want licensed and insured painters, doing labor work's a lot different. They don't care. But it's a lot harder to do work on somebody's actual house without having, you know, the proper paperwork and whatnot. But, you know, if I got to labor it and sweat out there on that heat, I'll do whatever it takes. You know, I've got to get out of this situation. I don't want to live in this thing my whole life. Like I said, I've got to try to, you know, get out of this eventually. So it's just hurting my body more and more the longer I'm in here. Just because I can't, you know, I can't clean myself. I can't, you know, I can't cook a meal or have, you know, a refrigerator for my insulin and stuff like that. So but I don't know. A day at a time is all I can do. Oh, I think I just messed that up. That got really blurry. Why'd that get blurry? There we go. Sorry about that. Anyways, if you guys are just tuning in, please also make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I very much appreciate that. Like I said, we do this every night. The chat's open for anybody who wants to talk about anything. Yeah, I know. I wish I could figure out where they get the maps from. I would go live all night and we could watch that together. But I don't know where I can legally get it. I can't just restream somebody that's doing it, because people are doing it. I cannot restream. But I wish I just knew where the cams they were using, because we could sit here all night and watch that, and there's so much going on in Iran. And just watch Israel cams or you know, the Tel Aviv cams or whatnot. But I just don't know where they're getting them. I wish I did. I lived through a bunch, and there's some that you can see, but not the ones they're using. They're all using email Mel. Who's Mel? Not sure I know who that one is. I need to, I wish I know how to contact BCP, because I know he's doing it as well, and he's used some of the cameras. But like I said, I'd rather use our own cameras and, you know, and restream it than just restream BCP. Because then he's talking through the whole thing, so it's not like it's hard for us to talk back and forth as well. But just watching that and talking about it would be great. All right, I'll try to do that as well. I looked all over the internet, and I just, you know, I can't see which, you know, I can't tell how they're getting there. You know, I know they're just going off one offline. I know that Steve buys his from Steve from Agenda Free TV. He pays for his cameras, and I know the AP has a bunch, but I'm really nervous about getting the copyright. Is my biggest problem. So I don't need another copyright strike. We've already got out of the last one. I'd like to keep it, you know. I got to be very careful for now on, so I don't get another copyright strike, because we know how that affected it. Maybe I'll do some more research tonight. I tried looking for a while the other day, but I just need to try again and find out. But I'll email some people too, maybe, and maybe one of them will reach out to me. But it would be kind of cool to just sit here, because we could watch that, you know, throughout the day and in the evening. We could rack up some good hours that way. We need about 800, a little less than 800 more, I think. Like I said, it's a 5-day lag between, so I'm guesstimating between hours that we've received. So we're slowly getting there to getting the first step of the part of the monetization, which is really cool. That'll help out the channel a lot. That opens, it's really not that one that's going to help us out much, because I mean, that gives you super chats. I don't really like super chats. YouTube takes 30% of it, and you've got to wait a month for it. I'd rather have, if anybody wants to support the channel, they use, you know, my links above. And then memberships are cool. That's just a monthly donation thing that they subscribe. But, you know, a lot of people use that for like members only chat and members only things, and I can't see myself doing that. I'm not gonna make somebody pay to chat or pay to watch a stream. So maybe we'll do memberships, but I don't know, we'll have to figure out something we could do as in like something special, you know. But And then the other things like a store or something, but a store and I ain't selling nothing. So I think that's if you have like merch or whatever, a merch store, you can link it to your YouTube channel. And I don't have any of that kind of stuff. So eventually I might make something, you know, for the iron, once we start getting actually into the more news section of this and less of what we're doing now. I would like to eventually make the ironfurynews merch, but we gotta get, you know, we're gonna get there slowly, build this channel up, and get to where we're gonna go. The biggest one is we need to get to 4,000 subscribers. So we can, that's when you start getting ads, and ads is where YouTube actually starts paying you money, and without, you know, taking any of it, they just give you money for the ads that are watched. So that'll help. It takes quite a few watches though to make anything though, so we wouldn't make very much at first, but even if it's a few $100 a month, you know, it's something, you know. That'll, you know, pay for fuel for the month or something like that, you know, where I can save more towards the boat. Once we get on the boat too, I can start doing boat streams too, and you know, going over the boat and just taking, you know, going live from the boat and stuff like that, where the view's a heck of a lot better. That'll be, but one day at a time, we'll get there, you know, and just got to keep pushing forward and doing what we're doing and making it work. Well, hopefully, witness that goes away soon, and you can, you know, enjoy the view of grass again. You know, that's one thing I loved when I was leaving up north, is when I could finally see the grass again. It was just such a nice sight. It's like so much snow everywhere. Snow's pretty on TV, but that's snow. That's why this band's so rusty too, is because all the salt from the roads. It just snowed to so much stuff. Oh man. But anybody doing anything fun this weekend? Or I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing this weekend, but probably just sitting in the meeting. I want to make sure I conserve on fuel. Fuel's just getting, I mean, it's, and I know it's, you know, still way cheaper than it, you know, was in like 2022, but it's getting up there, so it's expensive to fill this van up, and this van gets on it too. Sometimes I'll be going and I'll stop and it'll just, you'll hear it like slide. See why it's, the brakes are on, like it'll still be sliding. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I think it's the rotors are need to be replaced. The rotors, calipers, everything needs to be replaced on it. That's gonna be expensive though. But they're getting very weak. On top of that, this thing needs definitely got to put an oil change on it. We haven't had an oil change on this thing since Maine, and we went from Maine to New Mexico, and New Mexico to here, plus everywhere in between. It's a lot of miles without an oil change. This thing was well maintained before. I want to make sure it stays that way. That's why it's got 270,000 miles on it, and it's still running strong, but I want to make sure it stays that way. Because if not, it's gonna be no use to me if it breaks down. I can't afford to fix it. Knock on wood, it's been pretty good, you know. Like we said, we had that one problem when we almost got into when we were almost into Santa Fe, when we had that tensioner pulley break, or the idle pulley. I'm sorry, it's the idle pulley that broke. Luckily, we were able to get that fixed, and luckily it broke when it did. Immediately, you know, pulled over, seen what it was, and then limped our way to the place to get it fixed. Awesome. Hopefully she does great. It's good to see the grandkids, I'm sure. I miss my granddaughters. They're in New York. Grandkids are amazing. Miss my daughter. If anybody doesn't know about that, she's got a controlling boyfriend. Got all mad at me when we just went fishing, and she should have been home, and then made her choose, and all this bull crap. So it's a bunch of crap. Rain in Oklahoma has tornadoes. That's not good. My daughter is 23. My granddaughter is 5, and I also have another one that just about turned 2. We're supposed to get some pretty bad thunderstorms tomorrow. If it gets real bad, I will go live with them. I love watching the storms, so we can watch. That's kind of interesting, especially if it's at night. They're so beautiful in there at night when you can actually see all the lightning and stuff. So we'll go live if it does storm. That'll give us something to do, because I don't think I'm even leaving this parking lot tomorrow. Ooh, 2 dead in Oklahoma. That's not good. It's getting that type of season, though. It's starting to, things are starting. It's going to become storm season. Start having, big storms and tornadoes and all this crazy stuff going on. Just stay safe out there, and pray for everybody's happy and all that. She's 10. She did pretty decent in baseball this year, basketball this year. That's awesome, buddy. It's good to be, in their lives and all that. I miss, like I said, I really miss seeing my grandkids. It's harder to see them anyways, because, like I said, she lives in New York, but now that we're, not talking right now, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I miss them. I definitely miss them. Today, it's kind of a slow night, but not a whole lot to talk about. But I'm going to try to ramble on for an hour. Hopefully, things start, I'm hoping that once this job's done, that I can line up another one after, with references and all that now. So like I said, I'm still making my ads. I'm trying to figure out my insulin. Got to figure that out. I'm out of insulin as of tomorrow, so I want to go fishing again. It's been a while since I've been fishing. I need to get a fishing pole eventually. That's one thing. Another thing I'd like to get. That's not a necessity right now, though, but it would be nice to go fishing. I love fishing. I used to go fishing for my boat all the time. I love fishing in the Keys. Is way better, but still fishing here is not bad. It's a lot of catfish around here, though. You can catch others. They're like shovelhead. It's about 2 feet long. That's about as big as they get. They are so good. I used to catch them all the time. But you have to soak them in milk after, because a shark, after you put some seasoning and fry them up, and they're just so good. Grandchildren are the best, though. Yeah, they're great when they're that young too. Before they get attitudes, all that fun stuff. But boy, do I miss my granddaughters. Hopefully, one day my daughter realizes that guy's a jerk and will talk to me again and let me see them. She usually comes down to Florida once a year too, so hopefully by the time she comes down again, we'll be talking again. That would be very nice. That would be amazing. I need to definitely, like I said, I'm going to look into trying to find some cams tonight. If I find some early enough, I don't know how long it's going to take. It might go live later on, but it's probably going to be tomorrow if I can find any, because I looked everywhere. I just wish I knew where these streamers are getting all these cameras from, because I know not all of them are paying for them. I know some of them are just using them, like BCP and all that. I guarantee you he's not paying for the stream. But a lot, I guess lately too, anything going into Israel, they have made it so you cannot, like the people who are out there live streaming for the webcams, because a lot of them are live streamers out there, just streaming for the on top of a building for the news outlets. The Israel government told them they are no longer allowed to capture the interceptions, so it's going to get a lot less interesting. I hope so too, and I'm sure it will. Kids are stubborn when they get adults, and they just, they need to learn on their own. And he's not physically hurting her, so he's being controlling, which is a way of, mental abuse. But there's not a whole lot I can do if he's not putting his hands on him, because what am I going to do? Beat him up? And then it just, that just makes me look bad, and to my grandkids and stuff like that. So so she's just going to have to learn on her own that this guy is a piece of crap, and you don't need to be controlled in life. Nobody should be controlled in life. I keep having these weird dreams too now that about my ex. Not the ex that we broke up, the ex I have here, and it's weird because I'm dreaming about her all the time now. It's kind of strange. It's like I don't want to, so I kind of dread going to bed, because then it makes me just reminds me of her. Not she's a bad person or all that. I just don't want to think about her, because it took a while to get over that one. It's been kind of weird lately sleeping. She's a good person and all that. She just someone I don't need to think about. I try not to, at least. But worst comes to worst, I might end up going to the hospital tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow, because I have enough insulin for tomorrow. Probably it might be on Sunday, just to see if maybe they can assist with insulin. Some other people, I know Witness, you said something about that number and all that, but the only thing is they have to mail it somewhere, and I also have to have a script. They won't give me. I have to have a referral script for the medication. Free insulin through the companies themselves, but you have to have a doctor. They can't just give you, unfortunately, I can't just give you the insulin without a prescription, which just might be something I could do from the hospital and see if they'll get me a script and then call these companies. But then I still got to figure out, I don't know if they have to mail you something or if they can just transfer it to the pharmacist or whatever, but first thing is first is I need a script. And then I could figure that out to try to get insulin. I did see that comment today. I just forgot to write back. Oh wow, I'm very sorry to hear that. I found out today one of my friends passed away. My brother messaged me today. We don't really talk really ever, so when he messaged me, because it's one of his friends too, somebody we've both known for 20-something years. She passed away in her sleep last night, and she was my brother's age, and I'm 43. So my brother's 47, so she was 47. Just went to bed and never woke up, and I guess she died today, which kind of sucks, because like I said, I've known that lady for we used to hang out every day. But rest in peace to her. So suffering. She was in pretty bad health, though. She was a very heavy-set woman, never in very good health, unfortunately. So it's sad, but it is, like I said. You can't live forever, I guess. And when you're not taking care of yourself, that's what can happen. Unfortunately. That's alright, buddy. I appreciate that. Like I said, I've never been one to I don't know, death's never bothered me in a weird way. Even really close people to me, I feel bad for her. I don't want nothing to happen, but it's not like I'm depressed or sad or, it sucks because she's, I can't talk to my friend anymore, but death's never bothered me. My grandmother died, and she's the one who helped me run away when I was 15. She was tired of seeing me all bloodied up by my dad. So she paid for me to run away, just so I could get away with it, get away from it, And when she passed away, that was the closest person in my life. I didn't feel anything. And I don't know why I don't feel anything when somebody dies, but I never have. It's a weird thing. It's not something I can control, but it doesn't really do anything to me. I don't get depressed or cry or sad. Hell, my sister's the exact opposite. Somebody, I remember when we were kids, Tupac died, and she cried for days. I was like, you didn't even know the guy; he was a rapper. But it was funny. But I don't know, just death's never bothered me. My dad passed away. My dad was a really bad guy, but he passed away. I didn't feel anything for that either. It's just I don't know. I've never had, and I've had people I've been with, to pass away. Just one, and we were real close, and I never felt nothing. I don't know why. I think if my sister only feel over that one. I don't know. She was like my mom though. My dad was always, gone. My mom left when I was 2, so my sister raised us. My dad was always drunk or gone. So my sister was. We don't talk a lot though. We've never been, like even my brother. If my brother or my sister messaged me, and it's not Christmas or my birthday, something happened. Something's wrong. So we just aren't a family that talks like that. I guess they have their own lives and they're a family. I don't need a family. But I would still care if something happened to either one of them. But aunts and uncles, I don't even know any of them, so it's, I never really had a family. Which makes this situation even harder, because it's not like I have somebody to fall back on and say, hey, I need help, or hey, can I stay with you for a little bit while I get on my feet, because we're family. I've never had that, I'm in this on my own. It's what, makes it a bit harder, because, I get comments every once in a while, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? Well, why don't you become homeless with nobody around and have no money and try to figure your life out? It's not very easy, I promise you. I don't wish this on anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to be in my situation. It's not a great situation. Not knowing where you're going to, park every night. Luckily, I have a van. I'm blessed for that. Don't get me wrong. But not knowing where you're going to park every night, if to not get in trouble. Luckily, I found this spot and I haven't been messed with. And I've been here for a little while now. But at first, I was getting, I've had cops. The first 2 days here, I had cops at my door, and then Walmart kicking me out, and all that weird stuff. And well, not kicking me out. Just saying I couldn't park there. Overnight. They were nice about it. But and then not knowing where you're gonna have food or fuel or everything, it's hard. Especially, when your life is dependent on medicine and food, you have to have it, and it's killing myself slowly. It's destroying my body right now. My body is going through so much damage not eating properly. But it's what I have to do right now. At least I'm eating, I'm eating something. It might not be good, and it might not be a lot, but it's something. And I have to at least be appreciative of that. If not, then I'm just ignorant, So I'm definitely happy with what I have. I'm happy having this channel. I'm happy having you guys with me. It does make it a lot better. It gets very lonely, though. I'll tell you that. That's one of the hardest things, minus the medical stuff. Medical is, of course, the hardest. But the second would be being just, I sit here, most days, and when I'm not live, I'm just looking, trying to figure stuff out, making posts, going a little bit crazy, because it's very, very boring. I sit in this seat, and this is what I look at all day. I just sit here, and I don't listen to my music too much, because I don't want to kill my battery. This battery is really strong, but I had a problem with it in the car, and I'm just nervous to, use my battery when I'm not driving. So I'd rather not risk it. So it's super boring. I go out of my mind. Yeah, I know. It's definitely not about not caring. I completely get that, But there is nothing we can do about it. You're absolutely right, and it's like I said, my friend passing away. It sucks. It doesn't help that. It's just and everybody, each person is. It's okay if they do that. It's okay if however anybody handles that loss or whatever is absolutely, whether they go off the deep end or they go on their day and nothing changes. It doesn't mean they don't care or they're bad people. It's just that's how they deal with theirs, and that's how we deal with ours. So no, I totally get that. It's been I'm not sure if it'll ever, if it'll ever change. Maybe somebody closer to me, or if I was dating somebody or married or something, and that person every day, I think that would hurt. I think that would be a little bit harder to deal with than say my grandmother or my friend who just died. That I don't know how I would deal with, because I'm great at dealing with death, but I'm horrible at dealing with breakups. This last one I did fine with, because it was whatever. But my ex before that, I was dating this girl. She's a bit younger. She's 31, and we were together for a while. And definitely love, personally love the most out of anybody I ever loved. We just, I don't know, we clicked on so many different levels. We did everything together. And when we broke up, I did not take that well at all, not even close. That was a hard breakup, but it was a needed breakup. We were also very toxic for each other. I think it was a lot of it was the age difference, Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't, yeah, that was a lot easier to leave that situation. And like I said, I cared about her a lot. I think it was more, I cared what she provided, which would have been me not being alone. She filled that empty hole that I had, not sharing my life with somebody. And my life, because I was just so tired of being alone. And like I said, it's just, it wasn't, I didn't deal with that one at all bad, just because, like I said, it wasn't for the right reasons we were together. And that is what it is. And now I'm definitely staying single for a very, 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 very long time. I don't care how lonely I'll get. Eventually, once I get a bit more money coming in, getting a dog, and that'll cure my loneliness. I have somebody to hang out with every day. But I need to get a few things for this van first, before I get a dog. And just mainly, I want a fan in here. I have a fan, but I need to find a way to get power, should I say, where I can plug that fan in all the time, because it's battery operated, and it's rechargeable battery operated. It's a big fan too for it. But in here, perfect. This way, the dog at least can, on the hot days, I have some for it. No, she didn't care about anybody but herself. And that's why she used me to get to where she wanted to go. But I'm still not, I'm not a grudgeful person. I'm happy that, I'm happy that I figured out it wasn't going to work before things could have got even, further down the road. It's better, instead of building our connection growing more and more, it's better to break it before it's too strong of a bond where it sucks. Like I said, we were able to, get here quick, and that helped get away from the situation. That was very good. That was very nice. So I'm happy about that. Definitely love being back in Florida. I should have never went to New Mexico in the first place. I'm not a desert dude, He's back in Tucson. They're talking about stuff over and over about the same thing, so it's like, it kind of, it's kind of like the protests. It just kind of got strung out, and it's watching it too much is just ugh sometimes, but because there's nothing new going on, Yeah, that Dad Gone Live guy is pretty interesting person, I think, to say the least, but. It's it's sad that a lot of the people were left, though, and I understand too, though. There's just not much more you can really show about the Nancy Guthrie case until they come up with new stuff. I haven't watched it in a day and a half, 2 days or something like that, so I'm not sure if anything new's happened anyway. But a lot of people are now switching their focus to Iran, with all that going on, which I would love to cover. Like I said, I've got to figure out where they're getting these cams from. Because it's gonna, it's definitely growing still. No, there's just nothing left. You are absolutely correct, Danny. The case is all forensics now. It's not like they're not going to be doing anything, and they might not. It's the longer this goes on, the longer I'm thinking this might not ever get solved. I pray it does, but. Just for the family's sake, they deserve that, But every day the case goes by, it's harder and harder to find out what actually happened. Unless somebody eventually talks, I'm not sure it'll ever come clean of what happened. And that's just my opinion. It could come clean in an hour, who knows? But it's just, it's not looking good. But I hope, yeah. It's just there hasn't been in a while, which is the scary part. You know, there's been nothing new for a while. And we watched it for a little bit, but like I said, but there's no new news. It's just, you know, it's just gone soon. Especially, I mean, it depends on how long Iran. I think the Iran thing's going to get stretched out pretty long. I don't see an ending anytime soon. So I would really love to start watching that, but I've just got to find the right feeds for it. I'll do some emailing and stuff like that today. Liz, if you can do me a favor and comment on one of my posts, anyone in my videos, I mean, and put that person's name, because I have nothing to write down with, so I don't forget, so I can email that person. I'd really, really appreciate that, just so I know what YouTuber to email, or whatever, or what person should I say, stream on there, because I could take it off that. It's a little bit easier to get away with if it's on X, because the person, as long as they don't have a YouTube account too. And they're not a licensed news channel. So I need to find out what the FAIR Act actually covers. There is a way to get, you know, use this stuff, if it's newsworthy, but I just don't understand. I don't know the laws yet and how it works. They even like when you look it up, they say it's very that as an excuse to use the stream. And I'm just very, you know, reluctant on doing something like that and getting another strike and having to deal with all that crap all over again. You know, we're getting close to our monetization hours. I'd really like to get monetized, so I got to be very careful what we use. There's so much going on in the world right now, and we could cover a whole lot. And, you know, it's harder from the phone because, you know, like I said, I live in the van, so it's not like I have a good computer set up where I can do all this stuff. We just do it all from the phone. But there's things I can do, you know. And I would like to start covering more things like that, because, you know, like I named the station Iron Fury News, so because we were going to start covering news, and then just everything keeps happening to where I can't get, you know, get into that where the way I'd like to, but I can still do some. And because these streams are nice and all that, but they only bring us in, like, you know, say if we get 10 people, you know, or we'll say an average of 6 people. I know we have like 9 likes, but our people watching goes up and down and all that. And we're only bringing 5 or 6 watch hours a day. It would take us, you know, it's 10, like 100, 200 days to, you know, get monetized that way. So I definitely need to be bringing in, you know, like what we used to be doing and building the crowds up again. But I've just got to figure that out. And I've been doing a lot of research and working on different layouts that I can use to make it look a little bit newsworthier and stuff like that. But there's not a whole lot for your phone unless you pay money for it. And I don't have money to pay for like OBS, but then you have to pay for stuff and all that. I don't know. I haven't seen Kit. She did write a message earlier on one of my videos. She's around today. She, you know, it's only 5 o'clock over there, so she could be still busy with her day, you know, because she's out there in, you know, in Oregon, so it might be a little harder for her, because usually, you know, when she comes on when we do our late stuff, like when we're restreaming Tommy and stuff like that. Yeah, I hope she's okay too. Like I said, she did write something today, so I know she's still been watching and all that. I think she said she had a busy day and she couldn't make it the other day, so she might just be having hopefully another busy day or something like that. And hopefully she's doing good health-wise. We do, you know, always look out for our other members as well, because, you know, we're all, you know, we all talk pretty much every day, so it is good to, you know how people are doing. So hopefully she'll reach out again and, you know, be back on. There's so many people that from the beginning of these streams, I remember like Sunshine and all that. I don't ever know what happened to these people after, you know, I was gone for a little bit sick, and then I never seen them again. It was like these people were so kind and sweet and nice. I miss them, you know. There's quite a few different ones that we that used to be on here, like Jeffrey. I think it was Jeffrey or something like that was another one. That were very everyday watchers, and they just one day disappeared. The one that like Sunshine is we weren't live for a month and a half, but the Jeffrey one, he said he was going to something and he was going to be back the next day, and he just never came back. So hopefully he's okay. He was a good guy. I like talking to him. He was one of my first subscribers. Back when we did the protest every night. Things are starting to warm up though, so I'm curious if if they're just going to stay low like they have been lately, or if they're going to build back up now that it's starting to warm up and stuff like that. So that should be interesting to see what happens with that. But I don't know, guys. I think that's about all for the night. It's close to an hour. It's just I don't have anything else to say really, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just don't know what else to say for the next 12 minutes. We talked about everything we could today. I enjoyed the beach stream. I'm glad you guys did. I will try to get some more stuff like that as I can. And then I'm also going to try to work on getting an Iran cam. If anybody finds out anything that they could use, that they found a way that they can find a cam that we can watch together, please message me. I'm gonna put an email on my post right now. As soon as we get off, I'm gonna go put an email there. You guys can email me anytime you want with any questions, or just to say hi, or if you want to chat, whatever. But it's gonna be on my post in a minute, so this way we can have an easier way to, you guys want to tell me something private or share something with me, a link, whatnot, you guys have a way to do that. I'm gonna put one in as soon as we end this. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night. We will be back tomorrow like normal at 8 o'clock.